Hello, welcome to my channel, A Piece of Gaia. My name is Lindsay, and today we're going to do a reading all about what you need to hear at right now, at this present moment. And whenever you clicked on this video is the right time for you to receive this message. So thank you for joining me today. Welcome. And we're going to go ahead and get started with this deck here. And shuffle out a selection for you to choose from. We're going to do 3 readings. Alright, put your energy in there, put your intention in there. What do you need to hear today? Connect with these cards, with the images that you see, which whenever you're drawn to, that is the right one for you. If you want to play the number game, you can go in the timestamps and look in the description for that, or also it should be up in the pinned comments by now. Okay. The Lantern for number 1. The Pillars, number 2, and the Bird for number 3. The word here says illumination. This one says support. This one says information. And I will see you in your selected reading. Welcome to those of you who selected group 1 with the lantern here and illumination. So, what do we need to illuminate for you here in this space today? Alright, I'm hearing we need a mushroom message first. So I hope you guys are doing well today, wherever you are in the world. We're just looking for a message of what you need to hear today. Okay. Yes, but means I'm not listening. Okay. This image. Lots of different types of mushrooms. I'm feeling like with this card and this card already illuminating something within a family dynamic. It could also be a work situation. I'm feeling the message from the lantern is also giving me hermit energy. So maybe there's a time when we need to spend some time alone. In our own space. Let's go ahead and get some tarot. What do those that selected group 1 need to hear today? Why were they drawn to this reading? What is the important message that needs to be put out there? Do you have any advice or guidance for us today? We have Ace of Cups, so right out the gate, Spirit's offering you lots of guidance. Do you feel that in your heart? That's potential, my dear. So Spirit wants you to really acknowledge the fact that you are brimming with, spilling over with potential. All right. I'm also feeling like putting your emotion into a certain situation or feeling out a situation and noticing if your heart is in it. Yeah, maybe there's something illuminating on the reasons why we do some certain things that we do, especially with the connections that we have. Yeah. Okay, we have the Hanged Man, the 10 of Needles, and I want to get 4 from this deck. The 9 of Candles and the Sun card. Well, how about that? Yeah. So far, the Hanged Man, this is kind of this waiting. I feel like this card was showing us a pause. This card is showing us there's an illumination. So there's time to find something in the dark. There's something you're discovering about yourself. I'm also hearing the subconscious things that we do, why we do them, what we're attached to, what are the real purpose and meaning and reason behind the things that we do, and what's the significance for them? How can we rate them in our life? And how can we put priority on them that might be different than what we're seeing right now that's coming through? Because there's this cycle ending here. And inevitably, you know, this card here is obviously a very positive energy. So it's saying that whatever the outcome really is here, it will have a pretty high rate of success with you. You'll be feeling good about it. Let's go and clarify the Hangman more, please. What do they need to hear today? The Queen of Wands. I feel like pausing for a build-up. It's like a build-up of something. The Tower reversed. 8 of Swords reversed. The 4 of Cups reversed. Yeah, this is an end to your sadness, an end to things, because I feel like you've been putting up a lot of boundaries in places that are necessary. You know, even though it might have been hard of or a learned effort to be able to do this. You know, sometimes we have to reparent the people around us, I feel, and this card is kind of showing me that. It's like acknowledging the fact that not everyone came from the same household. Everybody has their own little quirks and things that they do. And there's always got to be somebody who's going to give that person a second education on how to socialize in the world and be, you know, socially acceptable in certain circles. And I feel like the King of Pentacles has a little bit of that energy, because he's not really going to allow a lot of people in his life that have any drain on his finances. He's a guy who wants to teach a man how to fish. He doesn't want to give a man a fish. He doesn't want to keep somebody hanging on so that he can feel that lingering sense of nepotism that gives him some self-righteous power. He wants to be able to keep his power and help others maintain theirs. That's why I feel like the boundaries are so important. The Queen of Wands is showing me that there's something of spending a lot of time caring for yourself. I'm also feeling the Tower being reversed is more of this internal collapse of your sense of ego. And it's actually made you a lot happier. Like, I feel like there's something that happened that at first it felt like a little bit of a sting, because it's like, oh, well, I'm not that anymore. But then you have the potential that opens up. I feel like it's like when you're young, really, really young, and then when you get a little bit older and you're like, oh, I wish I was younger, but I don't wish I had to learn all the lessons I learned over again. But really, you just want to look younger, right? And that's like a thing. But when you think about looking at someone younger and you're like, oh, you know, I miss being younger. And it's like, do you though? Like I'm fine with being older if I don't have to learn some of the lessons I had to learn over again. So I don't know why people want to go back. Like, that's just my personal opinion, but the cards are kind of showing me that. There's something about going back in time, feeling nostalgic, wanting to be, maybe you're sparking the interest of a new relationship, a new situation, and you're being set free in some way. There's some freedom here to the way that you feel. There's a lightening up of the way that you're thinking and the way that you're being more receptive to allowing in admiration. Because maybe something had to really come to an end and you did a lot more self-care with yourself. And now it's like, shine that light on me, go for it. Yes. I have like a different meaning for this, and I think it was like a relationship reading I did. But when this one, it kind of comes out now, it's showing me that it's kind of like sassy with attitude. Like, yes, I am that bitch, All right, so let's go ahead and get you some more cards here. What do those who selected group 1 need to hear more of at this time? Number 44, Fairy of the Green World. The natural world needs you. Such a beautiful card. So Master number 44 already is really showing me this stability. And that we have a number 4 over here. And then we have an 8. Yeah, there's like a stability. And I feel like something that you have been defensive over, and I feel like it's because you've been preserving your energy. You don't want to be trapped. You don't want to feel like you're trapped in your emotions or trapped in the gossip circle, maybe even, feeling. Yeah. Natural world needs you. Maybe you were involved in something that had to do with some kind of naturalism, or something to do with the environment. I'm picking up also. But, or maybe there was an inclination to do that when you were younger, and maybe that was like a childhood dream or something that you liked, you were connected to. And there's something I feel like, yes, I feel like your beliefs have changed in some regard, but there is still things you can do on your end of the beliefs that you share now, because there's always going to be somebody who shares your same thing that you want to put your passion towards. So I feel like you will have support this next, and I feel like it's going to be fun. There's like this kind of joy, childlike joy there is coming through here, other than like this sad, like this is the sad mopey man card, or woman, I mean, you just be pouty. And although I feel like this can also feel like a manipulation card to me. Yeah, especially upside down. Maybe we've been using a false sense of poutiness. This card also just kind of really can add to that. But you know how like when a girl is pouty because she wants something, but she's just gonna be pouty about it, like to her boyfriend or something, and or to her parents. I mean, I know what that's like. I know what a pouty girl is like. But you know, I just feel like if you maintain your own self about this, that things will turn around with whatever the energy is. I don't know if that's you particularly being pouty. I don't really think that matters, but it could be expending more emotional energy than you really need, especially if it's not genuine or it's not coming from a place like it's fake or something. Like, it's like, why bother? And it's probably because maybe you're combating some kind of internal battle that you've had within your mind over some past relationships that ended pretty badly for you. And you're on the defense about that. And I wouldn't blame you for that. but I do feel this card offers kind of this burnout energy to slow you down, to make you think about things, and I'm feeling this is more like in a grounded way. Yeah. Got a lot of air. Yeah. Okay. I'm also feeling like meditation would be really potent for you at this time. I don't know if you do that on the regular, but I'm sensing that since you picked the lantern, that kind of is giving me an indicator that you are somebody who does that. And maybe you haven't done it in a while and you want to get back into it. I feel like that's a good self-care routine that you could get into. I feel like also this energy is showing me an exposure of some type, being exposed in some way for something that happened within a relationship, and just feeling like you didn't want to be a part of it. And it was like a childish kind of energy when it's like people should mind their own business, but people don't always mind their business. Yeah. Alright, so let's see if we have any more messages coming through here. I'm going to get a couple more from this deck here. I will strive for progress, not perfection. Today I will be kind to myself. Well, those are both great. Alright. Other thing I'm feeling from this is that it might be a relief to have some of these things that are untangled from you. Like, I feel like there's been some things that have been brought to your attention here about a situation, and instead of feeling like you're trapped about the situation, you feel almost freed. But there is this lingering sadness, an emotional kind of sadness that kind of just translates into you being in more of a mourning period. Like, I feel like this card shows me a mourning period that we have to go through. And the Tower also is like a shocking event, but upside down. It's like you've seen this coming, I feel, with that. It's like, how could you have not known this was happening when the cage was like growing around you? I'm seeing with this card. And then this is a stinkhorn. So I feel like the Tower is, there is this slight understanding that you're building a castle on sand. So is there anything in your life that has been like that, metaphorically? Because, friendships can be built like that. I mean, you make friendships too fast, and then all of a sudden they're crumbling, and you've lost this whole friend circle over some dumb stuff because people just didn't know you very well and you didn't have that deep bond with people. And from my perspective on that, I have a different thing from my personal perspective. But when I see people that are in friend groups, there's always going to be upset and change. There's always going to be, and that's just the nature of the universe. I just feel like we're always meant to really branch out. Like, if you think of the connection of everything, like the mycelium in the ground, or the veins in your body, or the roots in the ground, like they're always branching out, growing. That's kind of like us as well, our connections. We may have a fork in the road where we meet people, but then we end up going our separate ways in some regards. We may meet up again. Our energy will always kind of flow in and around with each other, but inevitably we're meant to branch out and keep going in our life. And that doesn't say that you can't keep a friend forever. I mean, I have a friend that I've had for a very long time, and you know, it's just that I feel when you make that old saying, what is that? It's like make friends slow and break them even slower, because of, you know, the implications of what that might mean. In the long run. So it's like metaphorically building a castle on the sand, trying to think that this is a strong friendship or you can trust this person. And I don't know what your particular situation is, but I do feel like there is somebody involved that has a lot of admirers, has a lot of interests. I'm also feeling like there is particularly a Pisces man involved as well. Either Pisces man, Sagittarius, or Leo. I mean, those signs I don't like to throw a bunch of signs on it, but yeah. Because we have so many in our chart. Alright, well that is all I have for you today. That's all I see so far. I hope there was something in there, some nugget that you could grasp out of there and probably mold into your situation. But if you would like to come see me again, I would appreciate that if you would thumbs up my video and maybe subscribe to this little channel and help it grow. I would really appreciate that. And if you want the timing on my readings, I usually upload, my schedule has been for a while now, Tuesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay? Alright, and I change it up. Usually most of my readings are timeless, so you can go back and look at readings that I've done. Yeah, and they're usually relevant. Alright, well have a lovely rest of your day. Alright, bye-bye. Hello and welcome, group 2. So you chose this card, Pillared with Support. Alright, so I feel that as all kinds of support, but a lot of support connected to the information that you've gained, the knowledge you've gained over the years. I'm being asked to take one more. Please. So I feel we're doing well today, having a lovely evening or day whenever you are receiving this message. We have the ship, exploration. Alright, well if there is some kind of exploration, I feel like these cards are showing me that you are being supported in that exploration. Okay, let's go ahead and get you some tarot. So what is a message that those in selected group 2 need to hear at this moment in time? Are you going through something turbulent with another person and you need support? I'm kind of sensing from that as well. Or there's some turbulent emotions, maybe some buried emotions that are starting to resurface because of all of the emotion in the water. We have the Hangman reversed. is over. Right? You have the support that you need. You can explore wherever I feel like you need to go. I feel like there are some things that are kind of blocking you in a way. So it's like there's only a certain direction that you can go. And I feel like it is the least resistance position. Like you don't have to climb very high or explore very far or do something very hard in order to get whatever it is that you want to get out of the situation. I feel like it's more about letting go or being detached from what was bound to you. And I also heard of letting go of the support that you've had. Some more information about this, please. What do they need to know? The Four of Needles is giving me both of these are kind of giving me there's this time of rest or something that took a long time is now over. Like it's time to get out of the comfort zone. There you go. And I'm looking at these needles like, you know, when you cross off, but you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then cross off means 5. And I just feel like crossing it off at 3 to make it 4. It makes it feel like this is over before you thought that it had to be over. Like it's not going to last as long as you think that it's going to last. Something about that. Yeah, something's speeding up. I heard a motorcycle in the background. Alright, so we have the Page of Needles, the 9 of Presents, the Page of Presents, and the 5 of Needles. Okay. Before we go on with any clarifiers, I want to get a oracle card from this deck here to kind of unlock a light and shadow, maybe subconscious energy that we are dealing with. So we have this 2 pages. I feel like there's either, you know, a few different dynamics are popping up. One is that there's this relationship dynamic that had to wait because they were too young to be, these 2 people were too young to be together. There was a lot of conflict in the family about it, and there might have been a real, I feel, social obligation to show yourself and present yourself a certain way. And ultimately, this might lead to the situation being that, you know, someone is going to want to be alone in the situation for a while. But the 5 of Needles is telling me there is a situation that you might have to confront or deal with within this energy that's coming up. And I feel like someone has your back. I mean, there's this support energy. And maybe in order to get away, I feel also like the energy of children wanting to leave the house, being old enough to leave the house. I'm also seeing this as a situation with 2 different households, and there's some like step-parent situations, you know, divorces and things like that. And yeah, family messy stuff going on. So I feel like that beginning message, it's like it's time to get yourself out of there. It's time to get yourself into a position where you're kind of away from some of this drama that's been going on, and a place where you can pace yourself, take your time, maybe even do some leisurely activities where no one's bugging you because you're pretty much kind of in this garden alone. So, yeah. We have number 38, Carnivorous Flower Fairy. A tempting offer has a high price. Okay. Well, shoot. Does it now? Number 38. So there's this doorway here I feel that you could walk through, but you know what it leads to on the other side is maybe there's some childish energy that is around you and you're being called to like go in a different direction. Stop hanging around with these certain people. Stop doing something that is a group effort that's kind of naughty and gets you in trouble. Like, I'm just feeling some of these cards, but also I feel like there might be something that someone knows about you, that they know your quirks and stuff, and they're gonna really have a tempting offer for you. It's gonna be hard to say no to the situation. Maybe you've had a long time where you haven't had that, and maybe it is a little like outside of what you're willing to pay or the cost of it. I'm going to get another message because I'm feeling something else. Okay, we have 6 of Wands and 6 of Pentacles. 2 sixes. Okay. Yeah, already that message of the 2 sixes is telling me to keep the peace as best you can. Keep the peace in the situation, because I feel like there is some immature parties involved, and when you keep the peace, you will be successful in that, and you will be also, I feel like when you're either willing to know or fight for it to win the situation, if you have to do any fighting, and you're assured a victory in that. But also the 6 of Pentacles is showing me that there is some generosity coming your way, potentially, from someone. And I'm feeling like this may be a reward for something that you've done. I just feel like there is a lot of people involved. Yeah. Like, if in the scenario of you actually going on an exploration, I'm feeling like you're going to meet some people that might conflict with the people that you currently hang out with. And there's just something about that as well. Okay. So in order to kind of navigate that is, I mean, I've been in situations like that, like having 2 totally different friend groups. And my best advice, I mean, I don't think I knew how to handle the situation the best, but I didn't really like to bring them together, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to have a big party and invite like these 3 different friend groups that I hang out with that are totally different than each other. It's just my style. But let's just say you have like 2 different friend groups, or 2 different friends, even just one, and then a different type of one, and you try to bring them together. I'm hearing that maybe that might not be the best to like keep them separate. Like, it's kind of like keeping work and home separate. It's like keep your different types of friends separate from each other so that you can still have that micro world with that person. That's just one thing that's coming through. I mean, to each their own, but that's just kind of what I'm hearing. Maybe that might be a temporary situation. Oh wait, we have the 3 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like you need to hold on to something, but there is something of someone's Someone doesn't have... I'm hearing a healing eye to look out of. I don't know why I'm hearing that. Someone doesn't have a healing eye to look out of. I'm also seeing this as like two eyes and then a third eye. And I see this big eye over here, and I'm like, they may have... There's something about their eyes. Somebody's eyes. But the king oyster mushroom over here in the Four of Pentacles is showing me that we need to value and hang on to what we have. You know, stay near those supports that you have. And I'm also feeling the High Priestess card with that, where it's like, when times are, you know, you're struggling with your faith, or you're struggling with the way that you feel that you are okay in the world. I'm just kind of trying to make it simplify it, because it's not always a spiritual thing. But if you are feeling unsure about it, it's like, cling to things that you know that bring you comfort. Like, if you read the Bible, read the Bible. If you are a pagan, you know, read some of things like that you know, are beneficial to you. If there's any stories, or if you're, you know, if whatever it is that you subscribe to or that you're a part of, it's like, lean into that when you're having any issues with, I feel like, also heartbreak. This is the more obvious Three of Swords, but yeah. The needles though, and then we have more swords here. It is giving me, there is a lot of gossip around the situation, and some people, they don't really know how to be meditative and keep their mouth closed. They more so want to share. There's also this feeling that people are really unloading on you or sharing too much information with you. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like one is withholding information and one is giving too much information. I'm also seeing this as a child dynamic. I mean, I kind of had this, and I had this in my house, I guess, for a while. My stepdaughter, she was a Taurus, and then my son is a Gemini. So I feel like if that's a dynamic, if you have two kids, so if I'm being guided to say that as well, if you have two kids and there's two opposing opinions, I'm feeling like the one that does more of the talking in the scenario, like, we need to like separate that off for a moment and hear what the one that won't talk about anything wants to say in a safe space, because safe space is coming up, that maybe we need to talk about that. Because I mean, regardless of if this is a child situation, if this is a place of business, of work, I'm also seeing that with the sixes as well, that separating these people off to be able to talk to them separately, kind of like when you question a witness, or, you know, or when I should say, like, when people question a witness on those cop shows, you know, they don't bring them in a whole group and hear all their different sides of the story. You know, they sequester them off individually. So I'm feeling that, because I feel like there's a few different stories that are going to be told about whatever it is that's kind of running around the gossip mill. And it's going to really cause some conflict between people who aren't even really living with each other, but are more connected through friendships, I feel. Or if you resonate with that step-parent message, there might be some drama going on in that area as well. And if you are a step-parent, you know, I mean, I have a lot of information on this. I even started writing some stuff with like this side kind of project journal about that energy and how it is to be in the form of being a woman and a step parent, and how it just, like, I don't know, it's weird. And you don't really have like as much power as, you know, you would like to in this situation. And there's just all this weird unnecessary drama where people come forward and they want to talk about things that I feel like don't even really involve me, or should involve me more than they're acting like they matter to me. And I feel like, you know, that can be a lot of different opinions from a lot of different parties, depending on your circle here. So those are just some messages coming through. All right, so I get a couple more of these. Did we get any of these at all? No. All right. Here we go. So I will find a balance between letting go and hanging on. My life unfolds in proportion to my courage. Each of my imperfections makes me uniquely beautiful. Wow. I also heard with this card was just really kind of yelling at me, saying I make my own success. I make my own victories. Like, I'm not waiting around for someone to admire me. I can do that on my own. And then people admire me for the fact that I have so much confidence that I admired myself. That's funny. Okay, so my life unfolds in proportion to my courage. Yeah, I like that one because there is a sense of having to be courageous and standing up for what you believe in, your beliefs. I feel like with this, it's like what you're connected to, that is your own truth. I feel like also maybe you've been exploring the bounds on that. Like you've had this certain belief system and that could have been shaken up by just more information coming in that you know, allowed in. That's why I feel like I try to stay away from the whole gossip train, because it's like eventually I mean, and I've had a lot of examples. It's like I don't want to be blamed for something that isn't even really about me. Like, why are we gonna sit here and have a conversation because you want my opinion on, or you want somebody to team up with on your vengeance or whatever is happening right now? Like, I don't know. And some gossips is, you know, between like me and my partner. He's like, oh, well, the neighbor bought a new lawnmower. Well, it's like, that's not really gossip. Like, it's just like, oh, cool. Like, oh, we talk about things that are around, or so-and-so got a divorce. It's like, oh, well, yeah, saw that coming. I mean, just, you know, like, but I feel like there is stuff where it's like you have a really strong opinion if you're inserting that at all. And where there is strong opinion, my opinion on that is that where there's strong opinion, there will be more strong opinion. It's like same energy, match. I mean, it can be different energy sometimes when it comes to certain situations, like an opposite attract energy. But in my experience, this high intensity energy will eventually come to a roadblock of someone else's energy that has that same match to the energy. And I think it's just meant to confront itself, see itself in the mirror, maybe have a little explosion on that energy, and then that energy dissipates after that. Okay. So that is all I have for you. I'm trying to see if I can pick up on anything else. I'm also hearing, so beware of this temptation, this offer, because it might also poke at sore spots in your heart space and in your mind that kind of occupies this unhealed wound. And it's the Four of Pentacles is coming in to say you could possibly lose what you have built so far and what you've been able to save. So let's consider that as an incentive to not be reactive to what other people are really trying to push us into. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me in this energy exchange. And if you feel so called and you'd like to subscribe, I would appreciate that and help me grow my little channel. And also, if you want to schedule on my timing, I do this every Tuesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay? All right. And I have lots of different topics. They're mostly timeless topics as well, so you can go back and archive and find whatever you need. All right. Well, thank you so much again. All right. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye. Hello to those of you that selected group 3. Thank you so much for being here today with me in this space. So you pick this little card here with the bird and information. Right. All right, so information is coming in. I feel like the blindfold is being lifted and removed in some way. Spirit is removing the veil. I'm seeing in this card. So more information can filter through. You can download more things into your consciousness. Okay, let's do a message from the mushrooms along with this. So I hope you all are doing well today and having a lovely evening or afternoon or whatever time you are watching this. If I'm not failing, I'm not living my fullest life. Well, that says a lot right there. Failure is a tricky subject, but I think if you have any experience at all in life, you can really put stock in the fact that failure equals knowledge of some type and a leveling up. And if you keep going and you succeed after failing at that thing for so many times, boy, does it feel good, right? Okay. So get back up, do it again. You got this. You're going to get more information about this as well. If you have been defeated in some way when it comes to that, maybe you just had the wrong source of information. And that's probably a better fault than some of the other people involved or situations that are not around you that are similar in nature. Because I'm seeing with birds of a feather, this might have been a work situation. Or maybe you looked bad in some kind of scenario. A witch at the end of the world. An important end, a new beginning. Yeah, I'm feeling like there just was too much chaos, too much storm for you, too much misinformation, not the right amount of information. So you had to call it quits on something. So this reading is all about what you need to hear right now at this moment. So whenever you clicked on this message, that is the right time for you to hear what you need to hear. If any of the statements that I say are triggering, which I feel like some of them might be in this scenario, just consider that you could think about them later, maybe even tag this video, come back to it. But I feel that whatever it is that you're dealing with, you're going to get yourself up. You're going to try again. It's not the end of the world, but it is the end of that particular situation. And once you get more information and details on what is the new beginning, you will make the right move towards what is right for you. There you go, the Fool. It might not be time right now to embark out on your own on this new beginning, but we are still got too many of our energies in the past, in the ending. So once we completely sever that tie, I could see, there you go, sever that tie, death. And once you put an end to that completely, you're ready to rebirth yourself, rebirth that energy. I see this tortoise. Is that a tortoise? Yeah, it looks like a tortoise. Yeah, I feel like this is going to take some time. You know, have some patience with it. Time for you to also gain some wisdom in the fact and this information. Maybe that if someone feels like you're too naive in the situation and you didn't have enough experience for the situation, maybe it was something about a job, like I had said before. We're going to get some more cards on this though and see. I say it's better to take the blindfold off and hear the truth than be blinded by what people think that you can handle. Because how do they know what you can handle if they're not even letting you handle it? And I feel like there's always stages where it's like, now's the time for you to be able to handle this kind of situation. You may not like this. This may sting. This may hurt. But, you know, it's necessary to go through. It's kind of like I think about that with my kids. I'm like, I don't want my kids to go through anything that I had to go through. Anything, not even a little bit of the pain that I've had to suffer through. I don't think anybody who has kids wants that for their kid. But that's one thing you think of when you're like, I can't stop them from getting hurt right now. But it's also kind of like this necessary thing. It's like taking your kid over and letting him get chicken pox. Like, I know that's very... that's what happened to me. But that was like, you know, in the 80s. So... yeah, I just feel like you can't just throw them to the wolves either. You gotta keep them somewhat sheltered at those tender moments when information is very crucial. But also you have to release the idea that they're gonna be there forever. So I feel like that energy with you is like, release the idea that you have to really be wherever you're at forever. You know, don't put so much finality to it, or just seriousness also is what I'm sensing. Maybe just be a little more free with it. Yeah, I'm also being guided to say something about a job, like job situations. Like, it'd be better to pick a job that you're kind of like, it's not my dream job, but it's okay, I could do that. Because if you take a job, unless you're very young and you have lots of energy, and which I don't even really support that at 100% either. It's like, so what, you're gonna burn your whole life away on some cause that later you find out was all this stuff about money? And it's like, of course everything's about money. And then like to come to that crushing reality as a passionate young person out in the world, that's a hard lesson to learn. But I think a lot of us have to face that, especially if we are more idealists and, you know, sensitive types. You know, it takes a lot of crushing blows to find out that the world isn't sunshine and rainbows all the time, you know. So there is kind of balance to it. So I feel like whatever information that's coming in, you're going to be able to deal with this in a way, I feel it, in the way that really alchemizes your energy. It says, let's go of self-imposed limitations. Yeah. Like before with the Fool upright, I feel like the limitation with the Fool is that they are without real consequence of any situation. But you have gained some kind of knowledge already in the situation. So at this point, you're kind of, you know, a magician of your own manifestations. So I feel like in this, I'm being told to say, you can have whatever new beginning you'd like to have. You just need to focus your energy on it, and it will come to you. There's a kind of power to you as well. I feel like a longevity too with that tortoise. And you have a lot of luck as well. You know, through these slow-moving, challenging things that inevitably transform and lead to something else. I'm glad the death card came in, at least for one reading, because I had this butterfly theme, and I was like, I kind of wanted to touch on that, and this card kind of illuminates to that as well. Well, there's some kind of cycle that is ending. See, the World card, end of the world. Job well done, something to celebrate. Oh, that makes me think of, that's funny. I'm making this coat with embroidered butterflies all over it. There's some other patches on there, but it's this kind of funky hippie coat. And I'm like, it's taking forever. And I've realized that I'm gonna be really, really excited when it's done. It, like, it just looks like she's so happy. She's like, look at me in my new dress. So yeah, something has to end. That's kind of inevitable here in this reading. That's the biggest message I think I could tell you, is something needs to end so that this new beginning can start to open up and be to pull off this mask that you've had about maybe an illusion you've been under because you didn't want to fail at something. Maybe you're embarrassed to fail at something. Maybe there's something about failure, like maybe you've been programmed, maybe it's a thing with your family, something where your mother, your father said something about, you know, you can't fail. And, or, you know, we don't fail in this family. It's another thing that's kind of coming through. But let's go ahead and get some more here. I feel like that can be empowering, but I feel that's really from another generation. It really just depends on, you know, if you vibe with that kind of empowering but degrading at the same time kind of energy. It's like, I don't need that kind of pep talk. You know, there's this little like black gnat, like not flying, just kind of walking around. Yeah. I feel like I've just heard something gross. I'm like, well, the stench of death attracts a lot of flies. Whoa, that's weird. And I said it like in a deep voice. That was kind of creepy. And then like, it's like the World card, the ending, there's something that's been ending but it's kind of decaying, I'm feeling like. It's weird. And it's attracting flies. Okay. I'm sensing like if there is a, show me some more information. So something that you, if you're not willing to let go of something because of some kind of pride or some embarrassment or something like that, or not being able to see everything clearly at the moment because of some denial that you're under, it will be brought to light, because it's like, liken it to, when something dies physically, you know. So let's say like our job is, it's been dead for a while, like you're not really feeling it. It's even maybe the company's going under or something. You're like, oh, I better get out of here and put my resume out there. But instead of really being proactive about finding something else, you are like watching it decay. Like I feel like that about anything. You have a job, a relationship, anything. It could be anything. A former belief, you know, a bridge. So we have 7 of Potions in reversed, and Ace of Potions. You will definitely pick one of these. I feel like there's one of these amongst something that you have to decide or pick between when it comes to this new beginning. There will be lots of offers, but there's only going to be one in particular that's really going to be a yes, definite yes. So if I had this card, I wouldn't say that message, but I feel like if it's so many different options come for you, it's saying maybe don't take the first one, don't jump out of the gate right away, like hold back a little bit, get your bearings about you, you know, find some peace, some balance, maybe go outside and fresh air, you know, experience the ending of this. Like everybody has that period of time, you know, death and rebirth always has its pause where you can take a time out from the world that you've been drudging at, that you've been pushing at, and just like if you have a baby, you have paternity and maternity leave. When you have someone pass away, you get grievance or what, I don't know what it's called, but you get some kind of grievance leave. So there's some period of time that it's asking you to kind of wait on this before you choose any of these options. And I'm feeling, since this is in reversed, that this isn't also going to be revealed to you until you end whatever it was you were previously attached to, whatever that is to you in this scenario. It could be something that is close to your heart, that is emotionally involved. You know, there could be a lot of different things. It could be a habit. It could be a pattern that is getting you closer to death than you realize. I mean, if you put an end to it, I feel like there's more life and enjoyment and fulfillment outside of that thing. There's more. It's like expansion comes when we release our attachment to whatever is binding us. Okay. All right. Let's see if I feel any other messages coming through here. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take one more of these. I'll get some mushroom, another mushroom card. So what else do those at selected group 3 need to hear at this time in this moment? 13, I am Kali. From death comes rebirth. Oh, I love it. Can I say any more? I mean, that was pretty clear cut, and I love Kali energy for that. That always shows up for me in that way. It's just like, boom, super obvious. Like, Kali, like, do I have to really spell it out for you? Because it comes with a beheading. No. All right. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this energy. That is all that I have for you in this reading. If you'd like to join me on another occasion when I do a reading, those are going to be Tuesday and Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time. All right, have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to feel your energy in my readings coming up soon.